Okay, there are three parables of lost things told one after the other in the Gospel of Luke. The first is often known as the lost sheep, the second is the lost coin, and the third is the prodigal son. So, in the story of the lost sheep, a shepherd's out in the field. He has 100 sheep. And he loses one. And Jesus says, "Who among you, if one of your sheep strays, does not leave all the other sheep in the wilderness and go to find the one that is missing? And then when he finds it, calls all his friends and says, I found the sheep. I found the sheep that was missing." And if you think about that, who would do that? If you have 100 sheep and you lose one, would you really leave all of the 99 other sheep to go look for that one sheep? Is it kind of like a No Child Left Behind thing, or is there something else to it? Like, would you really do that? The second one is the lost coin. So the lost coin, there's a woman, and she has 10 silver coins, and she loses one of them. And then she searches all throughout her house, and she ends up finding it. And she calls all her friends. Jesus says, "Who among you would not do this? Who among you, upon finding that lost coin, that 1 out of 10 coins, call all your friends and say, I found the coin I was looking for. I'm so happy." Once again, it might lead you to wonder, would I do that? If I had a silver coin, I mean, maybe it's a valuable silver coin, I don't know, but would I really be that excited about it that I'd call all my friends? When do you call all your friends when you're excited? So then the third one, the prodigal son, this boy, man, whatever, who was with his father, leaves his father's home and takes his inheritance and goes and spends it all on wild living and prostitutes, etc. And eventually spends it all, has nothing left, and he comes home, and his father is delighted, greets him, gives him a new coat, and tells everybody to get ready. We're going to have a party, a big celebration. We're going to have a big celebration because the son who was missing is now back. And then there's a controversy because that prodigal son's brother says, "Hey, I've been here all along. I've been faithful. I've been doing what you asked, and now you're gonna just welcome that guy back. I've been sitting there. I've been tilling the field and whatever, and you're gonna welcome my brother back when he went out and was doing all this stuff." And the father says, "Hey, rejoice. Your brother was lost and now he's found." So you can imagine the unfairness, the sense of unfairness felt by the prodigal son's brother in that case. But basically what these are stories of of someone getting pregnant and having a baby. So the lost sheep are white like sperm, and there are lots of them. So 100 sheep is like a lot of things. And when a woman gets pregnant, the vast majority of time, one sperm wins, like the 1 out of 100 sheep. So that 1 out of 100 sheep is 1 out of a whole bunch of many white things that was a lot more valuable and worth celebrating than the other 99 who were out in the wilderness. They were kind of they got scattered, and they got scattered around, but that one was very important. And the shepherd is the father's joy upon learning that he is going to be the father. The second one is about a woman who has a lost coin. She has 10. Now 10 is roughly, if you think about the menstrual cycle of a woman, it roughly correlates to a month. So you get about 12 a year, so you're in that area of where it can represent an approximate menstrual cycle. And a coin is round. It's kind of like an egg. You know, the parables are about things that are somewhat similar. So that is the other side of the coin of someone getting pregnant. That is the woman finding out she's become pregnant. She's going to stop ovulating. And one of her eggs has been, the lost coin and the lost sheep got together. And they're going to result in the prodigal son, which is the third lost thing. And the prodigal son is the baby that's born. And so when the father is rejoicing that the son has returned, if you think about on either parent's side, when a child is born and you see your beloved in the child, it is like that person being reborn. For the mother, it is like the father has been reborn, and vice versa. And the gender of the child doesn't matter at all. It's just you'll see things in the child, and it is like a resurrection. It is like a rebirth. It is like emerging from a tomb. And the prodigal son's brother could be a sibling who now is saying, wait a minute, I had the whole thing to myself. Maybe the sibling was an only child, and I've been here all along, and now this thing showed up. Now what's going to happen? So you have the emotional experience of a sibling upon the birth, or really even, well, it's mostly upon the birth, because depending upon their age, they probably don't grok the changes, the level of changes that are going to result as a result of the pregnancy. But you have the experience of a sibling upon the birth of a sibling, and that sibling rivalry, jealousy, and the splitting of the parents' attention. And it would be most felt by an only child when a second child comes in. And it also, the other aspect of it is that the parents each experience that as well. When a baby is born, the baby becomes in a healthy household, the baby becomes the whole focus of the household. Everything's about the baby. And if there are other children involved, it's about the baby and those children. But the baby is the most demanding and the most needy, so the baby gets the most attention. So the mom doesn't get as much attention from the dad doesn't get as much attention from the mom. And so you get this prodigal son, this wild thing that's crying and wailing, and that was just inside the mom's body. And while it was inside the mom's body, maybe mom and dad were fooling around. So that's the whole, fooling around with prostitutes and wild living and profligate living. It's kind of a little bit of humor there, but it was in there doing while some stuff was going on. So basically, you have in those three parables, the lost sheep, the lost coin, and the prodigal son, you have the father's joy upon finding that he has successfully impregnated a woman that he loves, and the woman's joy upon learning that she has become pregnant. That's the coin. So you got the sheep, the coin, and then the prodigal son, the child, and you give him a coat. You wrap him in some swaddling clothes, and you have a big celebration. In all three cases, the father tells all his friends, the mother tells all her friends, and then when the prodigal son shows up, there's a big party and everybody's happy. And then you got all the jealousy that results, whether it's overtly stated or not all the time, but all the little time is finite, attention is finite, and it's just a fact of life that these type of little wounds occur. And the reason it's important to acknowledge that they occur is because not acknowledging them keeps you ignorant of the consequences of those wounds that we feel, and we end up exhibiting behaviors that are a result of those wounds, but we may not be conscious of them. So that's the parables of the lost sheep, the lost coin, and the prodigal son. They're told in that order in the gospel Pretty sure it's Luke. I don't know. I'm tired. I'm pretty sure it was Luke. It's Luke, but I don't know. Luke 11. I don't know what it is, but it's in there. You can find it.